Small Time Critics. My name is Kem and Hashi.
Kem.
I'm one third of. Wow, okay.
Don't do
one third of Small Time Critics. My name is Kem and Hashi.
Kem.
And Kem. Mo's not in the building today.
Wait. Sorry, guys. Like, we can't do it like that. Do it properly, man. Because look, our audience have an expectation, so you can't just chop and change it when you see fit. Please do it properly, man.
This guy, I don't repeat myself. You know what I mean? Guys, please like, favorite, not favorite. Please like, comment, subscribe. It's much appreciated. Obviously, we reached our 1,000 milestone on TikTok. We want to do it on YouTube as well and all other social media platforms.
Definitely.
So that would be much appreciated. We still have Big E in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Youngest in charge. Thank you for being on. Appreciate it, my man.
Yeah.
Kem's here as well. As always, Mo hopefully will be back very, very, very soon. Today we will be discussing a very, very divisive film. Unfortunately, Kem couldn't catch it, but we'll still discuss it. He's got a couple of questions for us.
Mm-hmm.
And the film, as you can see from the thumbnail, is The Substance.
People are gonna love that.
Starring Demi Moore, Dennis Quaid, and Margaret Qualley. Now, I'm going to do non-spoiler, E,
Okay.
and we are very different on this film, and I'm very interested to discuss this with you
Cool.
in a bit more detail.
Yeah.
I really didn't like this film. Really did not like this film. This film had an incredible premise, and it was a film which I thought had a lot to say about the ways females are seen in our current kind of society, the female gaze, the female form, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, all right, cool. Hopefully we're going to get a horror film that kind of like really, really like attacks this. You know what I'm saying? And instead we got a film which had obviously gratuitous horror, which I was expecting, but was extremely over sexualized and kept on being in many respects be very, very repetitive in many kind of aspects of it, like to a point where all right, we get this is becoming obnoxious now kind of thing for me. And I think it goes without saying the film was more than an hour too long, in my opinion. This film was 2 hours and 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It kind of gave us what it needed to say within maybe the first, I want to say 80 minutes. So, but again, that's my opinion. What do you think, E?
Yeah, I'm the complete opposite. I thought the film was okay. I can understand why your perspective is from the female gaze and the impact that has in the film industry. I went in it from the lens of how the I guess the actresses in the industry feel when it comes to passing on the baton to younger actresses, because I saw it from okay, so this is Demi Moore's character, who is now on the older side of the spectrum, and having to to have that jealousy, to have that I want to feel the way I felt how many odd years ago when I was the it girl, and everyone was actually interested in what I had to offer beyond my appearance, beyond my acting, beyond she just wanted to be loved for who she was, right? And you can see that from her progression, all the imagery in her room, all the imagery in the hallways is showing how that progression kind of changes, how from being young and everyone's literally wanting to speak to her to being old and no one even bats an eye. There's can I talk about this scene? I don't know, it might be spoilerish, but we can.
No, non-spoilers yet, because I have a few non-spoiler questions.
Cool.
So again, immediately this film sort of strikes me as what was the one with Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt? The one, the filming industry.
Oh, Babylon.
Babylon. Yeah. Something similar to that in a sense, sort of outdated actors, actress, stuff like that, and wanting to still have their juice. And this goes back to the conversation, which we'll develop more on when we're speaking spoilers, on aging actors.
Right.
Remember this, aging actors.
Yeah.
So in regards to this, obviously the trailer itself said it's really sort of lends itself as a really sort of gory horror. Is that what you get in this?
Yeah, it's gratuitous, bro. I think every horrifying scene is, you basically want to look away, but you can't.
Is it?
Like it's one of them ones where you really shouldn't be looking at the screen, but you can't help but look because you want to see what's going on.
But
right?
the context is it more like the actual the gore itself, or like the scene, like because you could have like a really sort of sexual scene that has some crazy sort of someone's crazy sort of mind putting on screen, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Is it something more that way, or is it just like the gore itself you want to look away?
It's both. I think it's both things, isn't it? And I think in my screening, I had multiple people walk out.
Is it?
Multiple people walk out. You know what I mean? At many different scenes. You know
so it's not for the faint-hearted then, basically?
No, it's not. Like for me, like the person who loves horror will be like, oh my goodness, this is.
See, I'm intrigued now, because at first I thought it was just going to be, again, my intentions was to actually grab this, but for some reason I weren't able to grab it. Obviously I can't speak on it, but I thought it was, I stayed away from trailers because I really wanted to watch it, and I didn't think it was going to be really gory. I just thought it was going to be like an Asian actor really trying to stay relevant, stuff like that. But now I'm more intrigued.
Yeah,
I think for me the best way to put it is the special effects in the makeup department definitely need some recognition at the Oscars.
Serious.
and the production.
Yeah.
And the production.
Like it was horrific to look at. And it's not like, you know, how slasher film gore is. It's like a different kind of gory, eerie feeling.
Okay,
like,
so because I was more along the line, maybe because it's Demi Moore, I was more along the lines of slashers. That's what was in my head.
Okay, no.
Okay.
I think for me, it's probably good. We should get into spoilers now, I think.
No, go for it. Let's spoil it. So guys, I'll leave that to you.
So guys, listen, spoiler alert. Like, if you haven't watched this film already, please do and come back, because I think this is going to be a great conversation.
Yeah, leave a like and come back.
Exactly.
Definitely.
I think for me, once you see that Demi Moore's character, Elizabeth, when she commits to the quote unquote the substance, and you see all the instructions, and you see how the kind of like production design of it and how kind of clear the instructions are and stuff like that, you're like, okay. And then the themes of how far someone will go, like when she's going to the facility to pick up her kind of like order of the substance, the kind of like the kind of like that barrier doesn't open up all the way. And that's kind of, for me, that was like, all right, how desperate is she to kind of go? She's gonna walk, like, I mean, how like literally bend down to try and get through it. I found that very interesting. The way that the substance works,
mate,
was very Cronenberg to me. That was grim. So basically, Kem, the way the substance works is there's multiple versions of you that happens once you activate the substance.
Huh?
Yeah. So basically, like another version of you, like, is created from yourself.
But you are one.
But you're one.
You're one.
Okay. We're gonna have to step back again. This is why
you should watch the film.
I should have watched the film, but please explain.
It's like cell division, right? So when they kind of characterize it like your eye, like Demi Moore's character's eye splits into two, and you have these two eyes fighting for control of the one eye socket, right? Yeah. But for the substance to work, you have to be one, so they have to agree. So I think it was 7 days.
Yes.
It was 7 days on, 7 days off. So the older, I'm gonna call her the older. So Demi Moore's character was on for 7 days. Elizabeth was on for 7 days. Yeah. And what was the...
Margaret Qualley's character was called Sue.
Sue, yeah, so Sue. I even want to talk about the naming of these characters.
Yes.
But yeah, so Sue had to be on for 7 days too. And it just shows like the desperation for someone to go beyond the 7 days. Like there has to be some...
So is it one of a split personality? So so it's one body.
Yeah.
And they're sort of taking control of... It's almost like Split. So you have some, like, there's a host, which Demi Moore is, and you have the other person. No?
It's not like Split. It's a bit, it kind of is, but it's not. Like, these are completely different people, but they're the same person. It's just that one is more ambitious and younger, and one is equally as ambitious, but older. But basically, everything about them aligns, apart from one is old, one is young. Like, they're the same person, but they're split.
Yes. And it's not very clear whether or not they think as one. That wasn't very clear.
Till the end, though.
Till the end, yeah.
Till the end.
Until the end.
Okay, cool.
So,
I think I got it.
So the way that the Sue version of Elizabeth comes out of her is through her back. So the literally there's a cut across the entire back of Demi Moore's character, and then Margaret Qualley's character Sue comes out like something out of a David Cronenberg film, and it's crazy.
That was
It's
I
crazy.
couldn't look, bro.
And it only gets worse from there. And bro, it was wild. It was wild.
Sure.
And I think for me, like the great themes that the film are kind of touching on in regards to, all right, when you are kind of punishing your future self, or you're doing yourself a disservice, i.e. when, so basically both characters are starting to kind of like resent each other for taking too long. For example, if the Sue character takes too long, goes longer than the 7 days, even by a couple of hours, then Demi Moore's character gets even more older, which is obviously complete opposite of what she wants. So first of all, it starts with a finger. Her finger becomes mad old and moldy and green. Kind of thing.
Disgusting.
And then she calls up the people at the substance, and she's like, my other you know what I mean, my other self is like taking too long and stuff like that. And you go, do you want it to stop? And she's like, no. And it basically continues on that. And basically it's that kind of back and forth essentially. And I thought that was pretty cool in regards to kind of like delving into that kind of theme. All right. If one person takes too long or does a disservice to the other person, you know what I mean? You're basically hurting yourself.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very interesting. And to the point where Sue is like really, really like taking the life, quite literally sucking the life.
Yeah, it gets to the point where she takes the substance out of just to have like an hour more or like 2 hours
and
more.
Day more. She's just one more day, one more day, and it continues to ratchet up that way. And what it the kind of obviously the film is kind of like very, very on the nose stuff in regards to critiquing kind of Me Too, with the Dennis Quaid character being called Harvey, and stuff like that, and the fact that LA is this kind of like very like sanitized kind of like no one's there. But like everyone is hyper, like, you know what I mean, like sexualizing. Like, again, for me, the film began to kind of unravel in a very, very bad way.
Really?
And there kept on being shots, like gratuitous shots, not just of like body horror, but continuous, like, all right, of bums and of breasts, of just body parts. Just body parts everywhere. And continuous, to the point where it just stopped having meaning for me. Like I this is just like, it means nothing to me now. I've just seen it so many times. The first time, it's shocking. Like, okay, this is a real kind of like statement here that's being said. But it just kept on becoming derivative up until the point where towards the end you're like, can this film please end? And so many people kept on walking out because it kept on like, some of the practical effects were very, very cool. Were very, very like awe-inspiring. Like there was basically like a fire hose of blood. You know what I mean? From an open wound going everywhere in an auditorium. Like it was like how that was done on a practical level.
Yeah,
insane.
they went in.
But as many negatives I had for the film, I have to say Demi Moore was fantastic.
And Sue's
Margaret Qualley was good.
Qualley,
was good as well. But again, I felt like what Demi Moore had to do was so much more difficult. As someone who's like a 61-year-old actor who's had an incredible career and who's had to like go through so many things in her life, you know what I mean? And even now dealing with her ex-husband, like having, you know what I mean, basically, you know what I mean, Alzheimer's and stuff like that. She's done so much, and she's got a really great memoir that's come out recently. That's a great read. I was reading a couple of excerpts recently. And I thought, you know what? Like, if she got nominated for an Oscar, I would not be like, oh my goodness. You know what I'm saying? Because she did so much. She had to be crazy. There's one specific scene I have to mention where she sees at the start of the film, sees someone she used to go to high school with, and he looks horrible. Like it's someone that she would never go near. You know what I mean? On any given day, but because she's feeling so like unloved, disgusted at herself, seeing all the great things that Sue's getting, she finds this guy's number that he wrote like in like one of her old bags, pulls it up and goes, yeah, you know what? Let's get that drink. The guy cannot believe it. You know what I mean? So my guy gets ready for his date with her, 8:00 at Luigi's, and she's getting ready. And like she gets ready, she looks fantastic. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, older, distinguished woman, she looked great. Then she's walking out the yard and she sees the poster of Sue, which is right outside her window, kind of thing. And then she just gets really angry at herself, goes back, redoes her makeup again. And this happens a couple of times to a point where she just completely just starts rubbing out all the makeup, like just literally loses it. You know what I mean? And I thought that was a fantastic scene. What did you think about that scene?
Yeah, I love that scene. I think it's the way like that whole setup develops. Like when we first meet Elizabeth, she has this like massive floor to ceiling window. And if you look right outside, it's a billboard of her, right?
Yeah.
And then when this Sue person gets introduced, bit by bit, every element of Elizabeth's like I guess fame or importance starts to get rubbed off. And it's not until the point where that billboard that she looks at every morning is now an image of Sue and not her, that she then like literally starts tweaking, like she breaks completely. And you even see that in that orange like corridor, right? On the right hand side, it's images of her across time. So when she was super young up until where she is now. And on the other side, before Sue comes in, there's nothing. And then when Sue comes in, it's her picture. So it's like it's just the parallels between that like that journey of young to old and how much work you're willing to do to stay relevant, right? You even see how it starts off with like her star on the Walk of Fame, and it's cracked. And at the end of the film,
it's a great bookends actually.
I don't know what she becomes, right? But that thing she becomes dies there, and some random dude just washes it off, like one of the street walkers like washes it off, and it's like this, like you said, a great book ending. But it's like the whole film's about this journey of how far you'd go to stay feeling wanted and stay feeling like loved and relevant. Not necessarily like from an appearance perspective, because when she calls that guy back, it wasn't because of how she looked. Sure, it had an effect to it, but she wasn't calling him because of how he saw her, because when she meets him, she's old, right? She's not like the Sue character, but he still says to her that, oh, you look amazing.
You still look how you used to look.
Yeah, you look how you used to look when you were in high school, and that keeps ringing in their head. Even she almost stops. She almost doesn't take the substance because of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then her neighbor, some young hot neighbor, like he doesn't look at her or he doesn't appreciate her as much, and she's like, you know what, I need this. Let me go do it.
So, look, because I'm looking through and obviously, and listening to what you lot are saying, it sounds like this is a critique on the industry itself and how they treat the obviously older stars, and sort of like, and making, because there's a lot for a long time, you see a lot of these actors, especially like female actors, they would sort of change their appearances through cosmetic surgery, stuff like that, to stay relevant and stuff. Is this one of does this have a similar sort of...
So obviously the substance is some kind of like metaphor for like Ozempic or Botox or retinol, whatever kind of thing that can kind of enhance or kind of rejuvenate kind of a female's appearance or a male's appearance at that fact. But I think for me, it's kind of like those kind of beauty standards, like unfair beauty standards that have been put on people, is something that was meant to be critiqued here. But I thought that if the film just showed a bit more restraint, I thought it would have been a way more effective kind of satire and critique on these kind of themes and stuff like that. Because if it really kind of not stripped away, but showed kind of like the sexualization and the horror aspects, like a more kind of restrained and a more kind of maybe structured way, then I would have had a better kind of more cohesive story. Because again, this film didn't have to be 2 hours and 20 minutes.
So it's more of a pullback. So if they pull back instead, so they gave too much. They show too much. I think because
in
you have
regards
to
to kind of the female form, yes, because again we got the message, I think, in the opening 40 minutes, more or less. You know what I mean?
I want to say yeah, but I think, because I don't personally think the film's critiquing the substance as I guess a metaphor for like Ozempic or Botox or any of that kind of stuff. I feel like it's more of a how to say it, because even the director, she said that she wasn't critiquing, like obviously that is part of what she's trying to show, but she's not critiquing the beauty standards. She's critiquing more of like how we treat or how they treat I'm talking about the stars now.
Yeah.
How they treat each other in the industry.
Okay.
Because for someone to go back on themselves and try sabotage for one more hour, like literally drain the life out of someone else for just one more hour or one more day to look a certain way, like I think that's definitely layered, but it's a lot more than just the beauty standards. It goes deeper than that, which is what I loved, because I get that, but that's not. I feel like it was too on the nose to be talking about that kind of thing.
Yeah, to be obvious. Yeah, no, fair. Again, it's not deterred me. I really actually want to see this even more now. Okay. And looking at the parental guide, it says sex, nudity, severe, violence and gore, severe, frightening and intense scenes, severe, and then you have obviously the profanity, moderate, and alcohol and drugs, moderate. So it looks like this is going to be a wild ride. But yeah, no, to be fair, I'm actually still intrigued. I'm gonna watch this.
I got one more thing. You know the comparison when we first meet her on stage, and when she first meets what's Quaid's character's name again? Harvey. Yeah, when she first meets Harvey, and he's like, oh yeah, quite big from like the King Kong, the King Kong days. There's another parallel at the end with her in the middle of the stage, and she's basically turned into this horrific creature, but she's put on this face of how she looked
at the start
of the film, right? So it's like, oh yeah, she actually sees the beauty in how she looked at the start of the film, but it's way too late now, and now the audience, the people that she's trying to please, they're not messing with her anymore. They just like literally get out of the way. They're pushing her, they're bashing her in and out, and it just gets worse and worse. It's almost like she develops like a cancer, because when Sue's character takes the substance again, because you know how like you split, right? It splits again and again and again,
to the point where it's some crazy kind of amalgamation of like a horrible kind of monster,
horrid,
like a cancer that kind of continues to metastasize.
Yeah, it's just metastasizing, and it's so bad.
Yeah, and the ending is just crazy.
Okay, so what I thought before, and I think now it's completely different. So obviously I don't want to go too much, don't want to keep going. So when Sue is the younger version, comes out of Demi Moore, it's almost like Demi Moore's the husk of Sue, and is that now dead? And then when Demi Moore comes out of her, then Sue's like the husk of Demi, stuff like that.
It's not like the husk. Have you seen Rick and Morty?
No.
Oh, right. There's like an episode where like they get split, and all the good, the more happy, go lucky stuff is on one end, and then like the grim looking, all the bad negative feelings is basically like a grayish green looking character, right? So it's still one person, and they can get back into one. You need both.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it.
They're just in different bodies.
No, I get it now. I get it now. No, fair. Again, I think it's a case of rating the movie now, because I can't rate it because I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
E, let us know what you think.
I'm starting this time. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
8.
Wow.
That's a big number there, you know.
It's a big number. I really enjoyed this.
Would this be in your top 10 of the year?
Potentially.
Wow. Fair.
Potentially.
Wow. I really did not like this, and I thought the runtime was too long. I thought I didn't really particularly like respond to kind of what the film was saying. I'm gonna have to give this a 4.5.
Damn.
I really did not like this, and
Polar opposite.
I think on a technical level, for example, the first time we see Dennis Quaid's character Harvey, in terms of how close he is to the camera, obviously 60mm lens probably. Again, that was pretty cool.
When he was eating that shrimp.
When he was eating the shrimp, was horrific. Again, that first 40 minutes, that film had so much goodwill in my book, but just lost all of it towards the end, kind of thing. But yeah.
Fair. Well, I'll let you lot know what I think at some point, maybe on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube Shorts, but some polar opposite in regards to ratings. I'm definitely going to give this one a watch. Hash, do you want to take us out?
Thank you guys for watching this episode. Please let us know what you think in the comment section below, and please comment again, subscribe, and obviously follow our good friend Elijah as well.
Thanks, guys.
And we cannot wait to see you next one. Peace.